guys, when they did Madison Square Garden, they all stayed at the Paramount Hotel. Andre the Giant needed 2 rooms. You want to know why?
No.
One to live in, the other one to shit in the tub. He was so big, he didn't fit on a toilet for human beings. Picture Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
Now picture like a Marriott, a Hilton, a Ramada. Picture that little bathroom. Now picture that guy sitting on that toilet. He can't get through the fucking door. He's a giant, honey.
Jeez.
So we would have connecting rooms or not, and he would just have 2 keys, 2 rooms, and he would go across the hall. And my friend Ray had to clean up. So this is a fact. And he would just pull down everything and just sit on the edge of the tub and freckle
mackerel.
That's amazing.
So poor Andre the Giant. Let me ask you a question, Uncle Dan. When was the last time a hotel gave you a key to a room just to shit in the tub?
Never. Thank God.
Uncle Dan and Barry Katz, the battle of the 100%ers. I think you're both at 100%. Katz got real hot, but Katz came in.
He did.
Katz
get
was
hot.
late. He had time to prep. And we got way off topic. We're talking about comedy, which takes Uncle Dan, like we switched up the zone. And Uncle Dan was like, well, I was never in this practice.
Yeah, you guys just switched up the zone on me.
Uncle Dan, anything you want to promote coming up?
Well, I'm doing a condo in Van Nuys tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
On Van Nuys Boulevard. I'll promote that a little bit.
Do you ever get bribed by people when you do home appraisals?
I've been offered 3 bribes. Three bribes.
Because they want you to give them a higher appraisal, right?
Or lower. The last
would they
one.
want to lower?
But I mean, the banks are, and you can. I think this is interesting for the people listening. What happens is the banks tell him, or whoever his boss is, or the bank that he works for.
You're speaking about his job with such certainty. This is fascinating.
No, I am, because I've been through this. So your role, and please tell me if this is right or wrong, is like if you're appraising this house, and let's say it was for. You're appraising the street, the house across the street, and let's say it was a $2 million house, whatever it is, and they want to sell it. Your job is to go in and in no way, shape, or form is to appraise that house at $2 million. You got to come in at least 10, 20, maybe 15% lower than that to be conservative, to make sure that. Am I wrong or am I right?
Hold on, Dan. I'm sorry. Why would he want to come in lower if you're? What are you saying?
Please tell him.
Well,
because I want him to say it because he's the expert.
Not really, because you.
But why does he think that you would?
Well, because the banks want to.
You have never appraised a house higher than its value in the last 3 years, or since Lehman Brothers. Have you or haven't you?
I've appraised houses higher than they were listed for.
No, I'm talking about the value of the house.
The value of the house?
Have you ever, since the Lehman Brothers?
Since
the Lehman Brothers, have you ever appraised a house higher than the value of the house? Have you ever done it?
I'm still not getting the question, but probably not. This
is the most honest guy walking the earth.
But let me tell you what happens now that didn't happen then. Back when everything was going up and up and up, they all wanted you to praise it higher. Because they wanted that. Even the offers would come in, 20% more than the house was really worth, and they wanted you to punch it up. Now, with these short sale properties, the real estate agent will want you to appraise it low, because they want to go to the bank and say, there's an offer real low, and
that's what he just said. You told him he was wrong.
No. I'm just saying.
You just said no 9 times in 2 sentences.
No, I'm just still didn't get the question. Basically, you just appraise it or what it's really worth. You don't even think about what the offer is.
Everybody
or
stop
like
talking.
That.
Why would you want to appraise it lower? Why would anyone want it to be appraised lower than what it's worth?
Can I answer first?
Yes.
Yeah, somebody.
The owner of the house does not want it to be appraised lower.
Crystal clear. Who does?
The bank.
Why?
Take this one.
Well, I'm not even sure.
You dizzy prick! It's your fucking job.
Well, I don't think the bank does necessarily want it to be lower.
You know what?
Here's what
the bench. Put on your sweatpants.
No.
Put the sweatpants on.
Shut up.
You got 5 fouls. You're a liability. Katz.
The bank wants it lower.
Explain to me how his job works.
Okay, the bank wants it lower, so there's a lower risk in their liability for what it is. Because if it's a higher price, that means there's more of a loan-to-debt ratio in the loan. So the lower the house is appraised, the more safe the bank is, because they don't have as much to worry about.
Does that make sense to you?
And his job is to make sure that I'm sorry, but I'm going to say this. His job is to make sure that the bank is protected. So he will never appraise a house. He will never appraise a house for the value that it's worth.
I guarantee you're wrong.
In the last,
by the way, are you talking about
4
money?
Years. Correct.
Is that all you people ever think about?
Like for instance, if the house across the street was bought for $2 million, and literally a month later they want to sell it, and he goes in to appraise it, he will never appraise that house for $2 million with the bank.
Talking about? Why wouldn't he?
I don't necessarily agree with that. I mean, it does happen, but I don't. You
personally.
Well, I don't. First of all, we don't get our orders from the banks anymore. Everything's a middleman company. They go through these banks. Can't order directly through us. So we really the pressure doesn't come from the bank anymore. So you can kind of do what you want. Although you still got someone.
I'll do this another way, Jay.
What the heck?
Let's do this another way, okay? Since Lehman Brothers, okay, which is I think 4 years. Let's just say 4 years.
Yeah. Sure.
Out of 100% of all the properties you've appraised since Lehman Brothers, okay, how much percent? What is that? How much percent? What percentage of the properties out of 100% have you appraised for higher than the value that they paid for the house since Lehman Brothers?
Oh man, I don't know. Some though, some.
What percent?
I don't know. Low percent.
5%. So 95% of the time, he appraises a house for lower than the value, and that's his gig.
It's not really low. The thing is, you got a lot of different types.
Lower
of deals.
than what they paid.
Sometimes you're dealing with a sale, and sometimes you're dealing with.
Now we got teammates. This is like Anthony Mason versus Charles Oakley in practice.
No, but the last time that I was offered a bribe was in Beverly Hills, a big, huge house. It was listed for $1.9 million, and it was worth $4.5 to $5 million.
Wait. The house was
listed for $1.9 million.
But it was actually worth, in your estimation, $4 million.
It was easily worth that.
So why would they list it at 1.9? Well,
it was a short sale. These guys just needed to get out of it.
Midget poker.
Yeah, midget poker. They had big chips and everything else. Anyway, what this guy comes with an envelope, and they had a buyer all lined up. What they wanted, and this was like a quick listen, they wanted to buy this house at the 1.9 and then go back in and resell it, a few months later at what it really was worth to make themselves a quick $1.5 million or whatever. It's a short sale. They wanted to fool the bank into thinking it was only worth, $2 million. The problem for these guys is that every other house in that neighborhood was selling, even houses that were almost teardowns were $3 million. So this guy comes with a big envelope and he starts handing it to me, and I just.
What nationality was this man? Persian?
Armenian.
Well, that's close, right? Is that close?
The 3 times I've been bribed.
So all 3 times you've been bribed?
No, I haven't been bribed. They've offered me bribes.
That's what I meant. I know you haven't. Yeah. That's what I meant, obviously. Yeah. And for the listeners, this is legit.
Yeah.
Uncle Dan's as honest as they... Honest Abe
as Dan. The day is long.
You're as honest as the day is long. You're as honest as long as this podcast is.
Yeah.
You have been offered 3 bribes.
3 over the years.
In your career as a home appraiser. Okay. The nationality, all 3 bribes, tell us what it was, the nationality, and what the bribe was for, to go higher or lower.
Well, 2 times to go higher, or 2 times just to make sure the value was going to be there. It was going to be there anyway.
What kind of fucking bribe is that?
Well,
hey,
because
here's $10,000. Well, make sure you're honest.
They don't know. Yeah, but they don't know what you're going to appraise it for. So this guy offered me.
If I have a $2 million house,
yeah,
here's $50,000 for you if you make it look like it's worth exactly what I just said.
If it was $50,000, I might have changed my mind. I don't know.
So, what nationality were you bribed?
Well, all 3 times, these were my Armenian guys.
Really?
It's a cultural thing. It's a cultural thing.
Listen, my friend.
It's not considered a bribe. It's considered like here's some money for this and that. It's not a terrible
What was the highest amount of money they offered you?
I don't know. I didn't open that envelope.
Really? So you're so honest.
It probably was $1,000. It looked. I bet you're in the envelope.
And they wanted you to make it higher or lower?
No, they wanted me to come in close to the $1.9 million, which was impossible to do because the house was worth so much more. You couldn't find any comparison.
I just want to explain. On a short sale, they want the price to be lower.
This is the boringest fucking conversation I've ever been a part of.
You can edit it out.
We're talking about short sale. We're not talking about midget poker. Just because we say short sale.
Because I don't understand it so much. Why would anyone...
He thinks a short sale is little people selling their houses, but it isn't.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not, is what you're telling me. Why would anybody with a $4 million house listed at $1.9 million? Go ahead, Katz.
To get out of there.
All right.
Stop putting your mic down to eat.
I'm not eating. The house, the people who owned the house probably went bankrupt. They went on when it fell on hard times.
So I got to sell it now.
So there might be
it's like a pawn shop.
So it's like they go. They can't make their payments anymore. The bank takes over the house.
Forgives them the rest.
They own the note. Whatever's left on the note that they left, and because they were bankrupt, the bank has to take over. So whatever that is, maybe it was $3 million, but whatever, it could have been 2.5. But they're trying to convince the bank that it's only worth 1.9, so they can take over the house, buy it from the bank at a lesser rate, and then sell it for $3.5 million and make $1.5 million. So they want him to appraise it lower so that he can fool the bank. The other side of the coin is, when the house is higher, the bank wants them to appraise it lower so the risk is less, and that's why.
So you don't take your orders from the bank, though?
No.
Who asks you to go appraise the house? How does it work?
There's these middleman companies called appraisal management companies.
And who tells them what to do?
The bank orders it from them.
You're a puppet for the bank.
Kind of I'm a puppeteer for the bank. Sort of like, no, I'm not. The bank, we don't ever have any.
Be a man, Uncle Dan.
We don't have any contact at all with the banks anymore. Really, none. But there is still. Well, the appraisal management company, they get the appraisal and they send it back to
from the bank.
Yeah.
And then you work for the appraisal. You're only one company removed from the bank.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
All right. Well,
and he's right. He's right. I mean, whatever the market is.
In 2 minutes, you went. I don't even know what he's talking about. He's right. Yes, I work for the bank.
No, when he explained it, no, I don't really work for the bank directly. But
Jesus Christ, I'm getting whiplash watching you go from one side of the argument to the other.
Shut up.
Jesus Christ, my neck hurts.
No, it's the.
What do you mean? No, I didn't say anything.
I'm just telling you, the value that I come up with on a house, I don't even care what the bank. I don't care what the bank cares about. I don't care about anything else. I just come up with the value I think the house is, and if it's higher, it's higher. If it's lower, it's lower.
How do you? And I'm being serious.
Yes. How do I what? Come up with the
number? Like, do you just look at a house and go, to me, based on the neighborhood?
Yeah.
Based on the neighbors, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
if there's a gay
off for that.
If there's gay couples
this
next door.
house in Little Rock would be less money.
Oh yeah, that's true. I'm not moving to Little Rock.
It'd be
so
way,
if you
way
have
less
like,
than half.
Let's say you see a house that has a pool, you add on. Is there like a number in your head? A pool equals blank.
20, 25, 30 grand most.
Not in the valley.
Yeah, that's all you put. You don't put. I mean, a pool. It's
a pool in Malibu is like $100,000.
I know, but you're still not as an appraiser. You don't add $100,000 for a pool as an appraiser. You're more conservative than that.
What if it's Liberace's pool?
Liberace's pool, maybe $100,000 for Liberace's pool,
but yeah, respectfully.
But nobody else's.
But is there fixed? Like, do you just eyeball the house? What if like all the neighbors are gay guys and everything's immaculate? That would make the. I'm being serious.
Yeah,
like the property value goes up. If you got
the other thing,
I knock on some doors. I find out if they're gay. If they are, I add $10,000 on.
The other thing that happens is there's the comps in the neighborhood that are on sale. So in other words, the comps means like the other houses for sale of similar size and square footage. He'll look at what they sold for, and he'll still appraise it for less than those.
You say that like he's
I'm going to have him go take my next test for crying out loud. He knows more about. Yeah, well, I'm going to tell you right now, it is very conservative. Appraisers are not over appraising anymore because everybody has gotten them. They're getting in so much trouble.
Have you ever appraised a house honestly and really did your due diligence, and then when the house sold, went, Jesus, I was way off.
Oh yeah, I mean I hardly ever check. So
Have you ever appraised a celebrity's house?
Let me see. Yeah, a few celebrities. I can't remember her name. Someone that was on General Hospital for 20 years, 30
big
years.
shots.
She was a redhead. I don't know what her name was.
I like how you waved your hand over your head.
She was a redhead.
So that's your.
I appraised. Who's the big guy?
I don't know.
Who's the big tackle from Compton that's on the radio now? What's his name?
Marcellus.
Yeah.
What?
No, he's a defensive end. He wasn't living in it anymore, but
defensive
it was
end Marcellus Wiley from the San Diego Chargers.
Yeah.
City of Compton.
That was a big house, 10,000 square feet.
I think it was a $10,000 house.
$10,000 adjustment.
How many midgets could you fit in Marcellus Wiley's house?
Thousands.
Thousands?
Probably, yeah. It was a big house. It was like a V.
So you could stack them good, like firewood.
You could stack them up.
And little people like that. When there's a lot of them together, they like to be stacked up like firewood.
World midget poker tournament in that house.
I think baby fighting is the way to go. Midget poker and baby fighting and ice cream truckers.
Ice cream truckers.
What's the fourth show to round out our block of programming? What's Katz? You gonna finally get that joke show off the ground?
I think one of your shows. What's the one you would choose as your final fourth one?
Mm-hmm.
You want me to hand you back your notes?
No, I can't read them anyway. Oh man.